Hey, welcome into the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. Week 17 is here, and for those of you that are still playing, have a chat with your commissioner. It is a travesty to have to give up a guy like Stefon Diggss or Tyreek Hill in Week 17 because your commissioner is a dummy. But look, Lane and I are here to give you a little bit of help, tell you who we would fade this week, who we would play, given a Week 17 championship. Lando, let's start with the clear and obvious fades. Who are you staying away from this week, given the circumstances?
The wide receiver position, Mac, is a volatile one. It's tough. Like you said, Tyreek and Stefon Diggss have been the most consistent wide receivers all year round, and they are not available for Week 17. This is wild. So for the wide receiver spot, I love this week. Or you want me who I'm fading or who I like?
Yeah, I want to know who your clear fades are this week.
Clear fades? Ah, man. I'm really not in on any of the Rams wide receivers. We saw that Cooper Kupp is out. He's on the COVID IR list. Now Robert Woods is the only wide receiver, but they have Warford throwing the football.
John Walford. We just talked about him in a video, Landon, and you've already forgot him because that's how irrelevant the backup is. We might see Blake Bortles, though.
Yeah, Robert Woods, you know what? He's been so good. He got people into the playoffs this year. He's very consistent, but I'm just going to try to fade all of the Rams pass catchers this week. I think it's going to be a defensive, terrible game to watch, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and on the other side of the ball, I'm going to fade DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler Murray a little bit banged up. Jalen Ramsey's really good. I expect the Cardinals to win this game because I don't think offensively, given no Cooper Kupp, no Cam Akers, no Jared Goff, that they can do enough. Oh, and no Darrell Henderson most likely too.
Yeah.
They're really banged up, and I don't think that they'll be able to score enough points, but I think that the Cardinals will struggle. So I'm kind of fading DeAndre. I think there's better streaming options. And then the clear and obvious ones like Tyreek Hill, any of the Pittsburgh guys, Claypool, Juju, Deontay Johnson. I think you have to fade with Mason Rudolph as the starter there. And I would probably fade Stefon Diggs as well, given that the Buffalo Bills don't have a lot to play for. They can't clinch that number 1 seed because the Chiefs have it, but they are kind of playing chicken with the Steelers. Who's going to get the 2 seed, who's going to get the 3 seed. So I could see Josh Allen coming in for maybe a quarter and that really being it. So you're limited work from them, I think.
Yeah, Mike Evans is an interesting one. Tampa Bay should play their starters for maybe a half of the game, but I could see Tom Brady sitting down and maybe Mike Evans, knowing his kind of injury history, soft tissue. I know he's been very good lately. You should be able to rely on him, but he might not play the whole game against Atlanta. So it's just one of those weird scenarios, Week 17, where are these guys starters that have playoff spots? Are they going to spend the whole game out there? It's tough, Mac.
It's a tough one. I would definitely say that given the circumstances, if the Buccaneers win, they play the winner of the NFC East, which will have a losing record. And so that's a really nice matchup. I know they have to be on the road, but they definitely want to win this game. So I could see Tom Brady having a half like he just had in Week 16, again in Week 17. My clear and obvious number 1 pick of the week is going to be Davante Adams, coming off a massive 142 and 3 touchdown game. I think he continues with Aaron Rodgers to torch those Bears. The Packers are trying to fend off the Bears from making it into the playoffs, as well as clinching a bye for themselves as the number 1 team in the NFC. I think Davante Adams is extremely relevant and productive, and you're not sitting him down in Week 17 if you own him.
One guy I want to see bounce back is going to be A.J. Brown versus the Houston Texans.
Great matchup.
Yeah, it should be a fun one because the Houston Texans want to win and play. We saw J.J. Watt come out and kind of give this leadership speech. I think the Texans, including Brandon Cooks, they come out here and ball out. Man, like you said, the Davante Adams had an absolute game against the Tennessee Titans. I think they are successful. That means that the Tennessee Titans need to be scoring, and that should lead to A.J. Brown having a massive game. I think him and Ryan Tannehill have a good game against Houston.
Yeah. Calvin Ridley is a really good play against the Bucs. He's sort of the X receiver with Julio Jones out. A good target for Matt Ryan. Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, I'll go back to the well against the Niners. Doesn't really have Jalen Ramsey to shadow him the whole game. And Brandon Cooks is one that I'm interested in too, going up against the Titans. We saw, like you said, them get torched by Devontae last week. And I certainly think that Brandon Cooks could be a guy that gets it going.
Coming back off of a COVID IR list, expected to play, Jarvis Landry is in a really good spot versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is going to sit most of their starters. They don't need to win. There's no use in playing. So I think Jarvis comes back and has a massive game. Even on paper, it's a tough matchup, but I'm not too concerned with the Steelers' defense right now, even if they were healthy, to be honest with you.
I agree. I also like T. Higgins going up against the Ravens. Look, the Ravens need to win to get in, and the Bengals just beat the Steelers 2 weeks ago. So Brandon Allen coming off a big game. They've got a little bit of momentum here. T. Higgins just had another good week. Starting to come into form. Big-bodied receiver, really sure-handed. Brandon Allen's being pretty productive, and I could see T. Higgins in a game where you know that those division opponents and those Bengals are going to be trying everything they can to make sure those Ravens don't get into the dance. I could see T. Higgins being a factor in a big game.
Yeah, guys, you could probably get off waiver wire that I would consider starting is Zach Pascal, a wide receiver for the Colts. He had a touchdown this past game. He's been getting into the end zone quite a bit. And Jalen Reagor is another guy that's been shown flashes. Philadelphia Eagles can play upset versus the Washington football team with maybe Alex Smith starting at quarterback. They're hoping anyways. I think, and McCole Hardman might be on a fringe wide receiver spot for the Kansas City Chiefs. Me. You're not in on him?
No.
Even though, yeah, I guess you're probably right.
Chad Henne? No, thank you.
You don't want to, yeah.
I would rather go to the well with like Emmanuel Sanders for the Saints, who are playing for the 2, potentially the 1 if the Packers lose. They could clinch that bye. I think Emmanuel Sanders is highly productive as well for the Saints.
Yeah, I don't mind that. If you have specific questions about waiver wire wide receivers, drop it in the comments below, and we can let you know if we would start them or sit them based on your roster, based on who you have. I mean, I don't want to, like, again, if you have Tyreek Hill, you're going to have to find a replacement from him. You might be lucky enough to have that guy on your bench, but you might need a waiver wire ad as well.
What about Keenan Allen? Last one, Landon. We've fought with him the last couple weeks. You last week in week 16 during the live stream, you were like, look, we're full fade on Keenan Allen this week, and he ended up not playing in the 4 o'clock slate, which was a really good call by you. What do you say to those Keenan Allen owners going into week 17 championships if they got there?
I don't see it. There's pretty much no reason for them to rush them back.
Right.
All these guys that are injured and out and teams that cannot make the playoffs, I don't think he plays again. If he's active, hey, sure, why not? He's been a solid wide receiver all year round. If he's active, I think now you can play him. It's just I'm not. You have to find a backup plan right now if you're a Keenan Allen owner. And I'm not gonna.
I might go back to the Tyron Johnson well with a second string Kansas City defense out there.
Yeah. Kiki QT, I think, is my final guy I'll add. I was in on him last week. He didn't have a great game, but I think he does have a good game against Tennessee this week.
Love it. Good luck in your Week 17 championships. Make sure that you stay tuned to the channel all off season. We do slow down a bit, but we are bringing rookie content to you for your upcoming draft if you play Dynasty, or just to sort of stay in the loop. Who's going to be those diamonds in the rough for your 2021 redraft? Never too early to start looking into next season. This is the time to sort of recap and see where you went wrong and how you can do things right in the future. So stay tuned to the channel, click that subscribe button, and hit that little bell. That'll notify you when we go live, when we post new content, and so on and so forth. So get that Week 17 championship. Tell your commissioner to get it right for next year, and we will see you soon.